recent partnerships we have with many states. So New York, Oregon, Colorado, to name a few, as well as large districts. Our focus is threefold. One is an overarching theme that collaboration is central to all we do. The other is that now that we're online, there's so much information that we're producing and it's coming at us. How do we manage that information? And third, this has been an ongoing theme throughout the day so far, is the ability to access your information from anywhere. I'm going to do a live demo after this, so I won't go too into these slides, but just in case there's a technical issue there. In terms of real-time collaboration, this is just a screen grab of Google Docs, where a number of users are writing and highlighting the same document. What's fun about this is a recent release where when another user in another location highlights a section of text, it will highlight it for you, and you can see who's doing it with a little cursor that says their name. Makes it very helpful when someone wants to talk about or highlight something for you. Another benefit of using the cloud is some of the ways that we're able to kind of detect patterns of usage and harness it to make your lives easier. Again, getting back to the information overload, this is a recent feature called Priority Inbox that can determine the frequency that you communicate with somebody. If you've starred a message or deemed it important, that it rises to the top of the inbox. You also have the ability to tweak that by designating an email as more important or less important to help train the system. Another fun tool that's in our labs is called Got the Wrong Bob, and that is if you frequently email with your Uncle Bob, but then you need to write an email to a friend or a fellow student or faculty member, that it goes to that person and not your uncle. Okay. So part of the power of the cloud, again, is that you can access your information from any machine, browser, mobile device, etc. When I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to use this laptop, I set it up with one of the event organizers, but was able to get this online. So, and I'm also able to access this information through my mobile. So what I wanted, last but not least, what is also nice about the power of the cloud is that we're always releasing a new update about every 2 weeks. You always have the latest and greatest features. All you have to do is refresh your browser. Had over 100 releases in 2009. Don't have the final numbers for 2010, but I know it exceeded 2009's number. So what I want to do now is just quickly show you what it looks like in a student's backpack when they're using these tools. So I'm going to jump to a demo account here. So I'm going to pretend that my name is Chris and I go to a school called International and internationalwildcats.org. And so I arrive at school and I see in my email that there is a welcome message from Stephen Jacobs, which is probably not rendering right because of the resolution here, but basically telling me, hey, welcome, you need to go to your orientation, et cetera, et cetera. So that's great. All I need to do is then add this to my tasks. There we go. That will remind me to get to it later. I also see that I have to meet at 85 Prospect Street, which is great. So I'm going to jump up to my calendar, do a quick add, and say, how about class tomorrow, 3 to 4 p.m. And it will appear in, yep, there it is down there. There's a couple of other conflicts, but it appears automatically through quick add. What's also nice then is I can add a location, and let's just say this is in New York City. And I'm going to save this. And going back into class, I think this is the one. Yep. It looks like it has detected that it's an address and automatically maps it for me. So it doesn't look like a very nice part of town. But that's the beauty of Street View. Okay. And then last but not least, I need to do some research. There was some discussion earlier about the taboo of Wikipedia, but that can be damned. I'm using it anyway to look at the demographics of India. And there are a number of wonderful tables and charts on this page. And I really would like to be able to use this data in a spreadsheet. Okay, so as you can imagine, copying and pasting this into a Google spreadsheet would be onerous and possibly not format very well. So what I've done here instead is, let me actually just, I've used the import HTML feature and added the URL to the website, let it know that there's a table to look for and what number table, and it automatically rendered the table. And if I want to use another table on the page, say table 3 instead of table 4, just update it, and there we go. So that's part of the power of the cloud, being able to access information from across the web. Another fun example of this, just to wrap up, is let's say that somebody says name 10 fruits. Okay, so I'm going to start with pear and orange, but let's make it 16. So I can select them, and it'll automatically use data sets from across the internet to plug that information in. While I was playing with this last night, I started with Apple, and I thought it was interesting and relevant to CES, what happened when I looked at what data set came up on these. Not fruits, but other computer companies. Okay. So that's a wrap of the demo. Just wanted to give you a good overview of the technology and a demo. Thank you.
I'm going to start with the first question, and it's, since you did in fact mention Apple, those of you who might have been checking your iPods and iPads, there was an announcement about an app store for the Apple, and there's all these apps. You have the Google apps, but I can imagine there's people thinking all sorts of new, different ways of using them. So do you see the app pool in Google expanding?
Absolutely, yes. We're seeing large growth in the apps that are made available at Google. So for example, we have something called Google Apps Marketplace, where we know we can't build an app for every use case, but there are thousands of companies who are building apps, including education-specific apps. So these third-party groups are adding their apps to the Apps Marketplace. We have a handful of them in the marketplace already. Grokked is one. Planbook EDU is another. There are a number of them, and they're growing rapidly.
Yeah, it's one of the things that made the app market is that at 99 cents, we had a lot of student billionaires. I think the one who did the pull your finger thing. What is the e-commerce part of the app marketplace going to be like?
It's being built out right now, but currently the apps and the apps marketplace are free. Though it's really up to the developer to decide what the pay would be. And so often what they'll do is they might have kind of a little freemium model, and then they'll have folks pay for it on their website if they want further access.
I guess you mentioned the one slide where you talked about the states that were adopting it in their K-12. What do you think the migration path will be in those states towards their higher ed? Because I know Oregon and some of the other states have really separate systems within their higher ed. Do you think they're going to be sort of forced to go to Google Apps?
I don't know if they're forced, but it's helpful when, and it makes quite a statement when a number of higher institutions in the state have already gone Google with the conversation at the state level with the DOEs and vice versa. So often what we'll do when we're talking to states is we'll already notice that there are a number of large districts or schools that have gone Google, and that helps with the conversation. In fact, getting that kind of local presence available and hearing from them as opposed to us is part of the overall conversation.
Questions coming from the floor, please just come up.
Hearing none, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
presentation.